जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दियो।
Well, GT registered this win and keep their dreams alive in this IPL. A whole lot of other teams will be celebrating as well after this GT win. But CSK, unfortunately, could not have that fairy tale finish that they had last year. CSK lose by 35 runs because Mohit Sharma, listen to all the advice that we've been giving to him at Cricbuzz. He got 3 wickets. Rashid picked up 2 and Umesh picked up 1. We're back here at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher and I have Lisa and Polly with me. Polly, are you impressed? Every time there's a good bowling performance, I have to go to you because I can see that smile when you see Mohit Sharma and those seamers come and bowl the way you would like seamers to bowl.
Yeah, I thought they didn't do a great job at the back end of their batting innings and I thought they'd given away the initiative. But then they came out and showed some real control, pick up those 3 quick wickets and it kind of set the trend. I mean, they might have been concerned after 14 or 15 overs, but all in all, very good from them. I think they'll be very happy with the way they batted, and their bowlers backed it up as well. Even Rashid Khan seems like he's got a little bit more confidence and got a few wickets to walk away with. But yeah, wonderful outing for them, and they had to produce, and they've done it. They've kept themselves in the hunt, 0.2% now that they've got of qualifying. But I think also they could have improved their net run rate a little bit better. At one stage, we thought they were going to win by a massive margin, but they'll take the win.
But Lisa, in the mid-match show, we were talking about maybe they don't have enough runs, but clearly that wasn't the case. CSK stitched up a very good partnership, that 109-run partnership between them, but just the other batters didn't kind of step up along with that partnership.
Yeah, the thing is that you had Daryl Mitchell and Moeen Ali that were able to kind of find a recovery from 3 for 10, basically. And you felt like one of them needed to score 100 almost to get Chennai across the line. But as soon as both of those guys fell, then the run rate just kept climbing pretty quickly and pretty steeply. So there was still too much work to be done. But I thought GT bowled a hell of a lot better than what we've seen them bowl throughout the tournament. So they were able to finally produce probably a performance that's pretty close to getting both parts quite correct.
Well, it was not the start that CSK wanted because Rachin got out, run out, and then Ajinkya got out very quickly right after in that first over. They built that partnership later, but the pressure was already on them because that power play wasn't quite what Chennai would have wanted.
Yeah, well, it was 43 for 3 in 6 overs. I mean, that negated the 41 for 3 that they'd done a brilliant job on the bowling. But it hasn't gone according to plan for them. I mean, we talk about the top order and you just add insult to injury, salt on the wound, you end up with a run out in the first over. Rachin Ravindra actually looked good for his 2 shots and he's been chomping to get another opportunity. I suppose the only thing
Polly,
you would
he
look...
fell short by?
Eh?
He fell short by?
It's just a millimetre, yes, a millimetre. That was very good. But if you have a look at it, the technique of Miller was brilliant. I mean, the way he picked it up in the quick release. But if you have a look at Ravindra, the way he runs, he kind of goes and then he veers off. And he was a millimetre short. If he had just gone straight, and even a dive, you know, a lot of people in those situations, the extra effort, the real desperation to stay in there. And you would think he would have it because he sat on the side for how long? You wouldn't want to risk it. But yeah, that was unfortunate for them. And they kind of had a partnership, but it never looked like they were on track enough. You thought, okay, you never know if things go according to plan. But never firing like they needed to.
Lisa, we were in the comm box when that big 24 run over, or they hit Noor for 24 runs. So at that point, you said another 20, another 1, 2, 20 plus overs and things would have gotten there for CSK. But then it was just that one big over and then they lost that key wicket, those 2 key wickets, and then no one really came up to the party.
Yeah, it was almost like as soon as Rashid came on, then they, even though Noor Ahmed actually bowled a great first over, his second over went big. Then I think Rashid came on straight after these, I think his first 2 deliveries or 1 delivery went for 6. So you could see that the game was changing dramatically, but they found a way to claw back GT, and obviously Mohit being able to come in and bowl the overs that he did. I think he came in at number six bowler. So he was able to kind of absorb that pressure and go, okay, let us get back on track. We've got a big total on the board. We had a perfect start. Yes, we've probably let things off in this partnership, but they still have a mountain of work to do. We only need one moment to change the game, and that's exactly what GT were able to do.
But Polly, were you hopeful given that partnership that they stitched up? Because with CSK, you know that anything can be changed. So when you get a 109-run partnership, you feel like, okay, they've got the firepower to follow.
Yeah, there's one thing is you look at the partnership and you look at the personnel that are there. You've got Mitchell and Moeen, they're striking it well. They get to 109. But what you always do as a commentator or as a management is you look who's still to come. And you felt like they had the hitting power.
Yes.
You had Dubey, you had Jadeja, you had Dhoni. You know, if they just get it to a certain thing, there's no doubt that those three can strike big and take any team over the line. So at that stage, you gave them hope. But once they got out, the next two guys who came in had a few lusty blows, but didn't really manage to put in enough of a hit. I mean, 21 of 13, 18 of 10. Dhoni was good for his 26 of 11. But have a look, if they just started the innings at Daryl Mitchell, everything would have been quite dandy. But the 1-1-0 at the top, that kind of knocked them back and also took away, 20, 30 balls of them being able to make a big impact.
You know, we kept talking about last year's final, and we know what that lower middle order did for Chennai, but wasn't meant to be, because when Jadeja came on, we still felt like, okay, this still could tilt their way, but wasn't meant to be.
Because it's what Chennai often do,
Yes.
right? They find a way. That's quality sides. They may look down and out, but all of a sudden they get a sniff and someone puts their hand up and away they go because of an incredible innings or an incredible spell. But we said, or I said at least at the pre-show, tonight will be a kind of a draw the line in the sand of, are Chennai the Chennai of old, or is this kind of following suit with how I've felt they've been going this year, which just hasn't been clicking? And I guess the fact that they firstly leaked that many runs, I know that they're missing, you know, their frontline bowlers, but then to have that horrendous start, you know, losing 3 wickets in the power play, it's just not their year, I don't think. Even though they're still in with a chance, it just doesn't feel like it's their year.
Yeah, you get the feeling they have to win 2 out of 2 going forward, but because that middle order has had so many opportunities to have a hit, if they could just get those top 3 to fire, then you never know. You know, even if it's for 2 games, then you're in, and it's probably 3 away from being able to win the tournament. But it hasn't been what we've so often seen them in the past be the guys who bully things from the front, you know, from the first 2 batters. It hasn't really been that case this year.
Well, that has been the trend for most other teams, but there was someone who stood in between the CSK batters, and he changed not only his fortunes, but also GT's fortunes, is Mohit Sharma, which is why he is our Omni Gel Spray performer of the day. He ensured that there was no pain for the fans. We kept seeing him celebrate and kind of do that namaste every time he got the wicket, because we've also spoken about how he's not been the best this season. He's had good seasons. This hasn't been the season, so we could see how much it meant for him.
Yeah, I think he's performed brilliantly on the back of what Shami's done and what Rashid Khan's been able to do. But he's had that extra responsibility of being the kind of the main man for them in many ways, and he hasn't quite been able to adjust. So he'll be really happy. He even cranked it up. I saw a couple of high-paced deliveries there, so he was charging in. But I love the knuckleball too. I mean, he got some shape on those knuckleballs. They were coming out with a bit of swing, and when you can get that lateral movement with those kind of deliveries, you're going to be mightily effective. So he'll be really happy. Sudharsan was great in the first innings. I thought his bowling was good. And he maybe took a leaf out of his hat, thought, okay, well, that's what's going to be successful. But he'll be really happy. The time he bowled, what did he bowl?
He came in on the 13th over, so very much like Patirana, 13th, 15th, 17th.
Yeah, 13, 15, 17, 19. I mean, that's not an easy time to bowl, and to have those figures when the other guys were disappearing, to have an economy rate like he did, quality.
We mentioned 27 wickets he got last year, only 10 this season with only a handful of games left. So yeah, he was very thankful that things were kind of turning around for him. I think it's a great skill when a guy can run in with the ball in the other hand and then just place it last minute, not giving any clues or clues right at the last second for the batter to pick up what type of delivery and then to be able to execute as well as he did. He's got some skills, and it's good to see that he was able to have a great night out.
Well, he had a great night out, which is why he was our Omnigel Spray Performer of the Day. He ensured that there was no pain for the fans today. Besides Mohit, of course, it was also good to see Rashid get those wickets. He went for a few sixes that Dhoni hit in the last over. But you were talking about how he should be sent in when there is a little bit of comforting around him because he's always been the gun bowler. He's not been in the best of form. So good to see him back picking up wickets.
Yeah, it was almost a telltale sign. They went to Noor Ahmed before they went to Rashid tonight, which kind of tells you where both of those bowlers are at. But, I mean, although he disappeared a little bit, he'll still take 2 for 38. I mean, things haven't gone according to plan for him. I think people have worked him out a little bit too. In the old days, they kind of looked to get into a position to hit him like down the ground, but now they're not trying to get over the top of him, and he's like a topspin bowler. So once he pitches, it kind of stands up and gets onto you quickly. A lot of them are trying to go up now. They're not trying to get over the top and control it. They're actually looking to hit him up, whether it's short or full, and that's maybe something they've worked out that can be effective. Because every once in a while in the leagues around the world, you'd see one game. I mean, I can remember one in particular in SA20 last year, not this season, last season, where Marco Jansen took him for about 25 or 26. And we kind of never normally see that. You never see that. But I think they've got a bit of a plan now, and he might have to work on the odd extra variation to try and see what he can possibly do to be a little bit more effective, because he's been Mr. MVP wherever he's gone. People are saying, well, we can't just allow this guy to dominate us all the time. We have to come up with plans, and I think they've watched closely as to which balls disappear, and I think it's mainly guys who look to hit him up rather than trying to get on top of him.
But Lisa, also, he's spoken about post that injury. He spoke about how he's been sitting with the data analysts, and he said that his wrong one's not really, it used to fall on leg stump, it's now coming on middle stump. And he said it's also because psychologically he's not using his entire back. He's pretty much using just his wrist and his fingers. Do you think that's what the problem has been? Yeah,
there's probably an element of almost placing or putting the ball there, not necessarily bowling it there. We talk about batters sometimes they need a little bit of luck, an inside edge or a drop catch, and away they go, right? Even his wicket of Jadeja, the length was actually, we were commenting, the length was there to still be hit out of the ground. But Jadeja had somehow closed the face, or whether it turned a little bit more than what he was expecting, and he shanked it down to long on. So even there, that it wasn't as well executed as we normally see Rashid Khan, but you could see almost a smile and relief, okay, and we were saying he needs to bowl the last over because maybe he can jag another wicket, and they can almost build his confidence up moving forward. So maybe because of the back and the fact that, he's not still 100% confident. Polly, back injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I've had ankle, knee and backs, and it does take a while. And it's,
trust your body,
to trust. And the thing about a sports person or someone who's at this level is you want to play.
Yes.
So eventually you get to a stage as you come into the recovery where you've got to make it, you've got to actually back yourself. And you go and you just, I want to play. So you kind of tinker with things, like you take a little stress off the back or the knee or the ankle, and you get into a position where you can still deliver, and you might not be as fast as you were, but you're desperate to play because you've sat on the side for like 8-10 weeks, whatever it may be. So that's where he could be. I mean, it might not be 100, but he's kind of thinking, okay, well, how can I make it work? Let me do more arm, let me do more wrist and less body, just so I can get away with being on the park, and I'll work through it. So he probably will get better as the months go on. He obviously would love to be in tip-top shape once the World Cup comes around.
That would be on his mind for sure. He's post the match, he said that his back was giving him trouble. He is better now, but he feels he'll be completely fit very soon. So I think for Gujarat's remaining games, and of course for Afghanistan, he's their gun bowler.
You've just got to get back out there, don't you? And you've got to each time put yourself through. I can remember Sophie Eccleston in the WPL. She had done her shoulder in the 100 and hadn't really been diving around the boundary. There was one game against Delhi where it came down to the wire. She went down, hurt herself and, got really emotional because she thought she had done it again. We literally ripped her off the field. And I said, you're fine. Let's figure out the last thing. But it's just have I done it again? Or players need to almost go through that again and where they push their bodies to the limit and go, oh, no, I'm good. I'm all right. Okay. Yeah, everyone can relax. I can now get back and be playing at the highest level. So Rashid Khan almost needs a little bit of that, I reckon.
Well, I want to see that bowling card again because there's someone else who's gotten back and he's gotten those good numbers in today. Umesh Yadav, 3 overs, 8 dot balls and 20 runs. Paulie, were you impressed with how Umesh Yadav bowled today?
Yeah, I was. I think, obviously he was there when the one wicket, the first of all, the run out, and then he managed to get another one as the spell went on. So the new batters coming to the crease, but his rhythm looked good. We always tend to suggest that when guys sit on the side, it's going to take a while for them to find something. But I was happy with what I saw from him today. Looked like he could get it through. He was carrying through nicely, a little bit of shape out of his hand. So that's good signs. I mean, obviously, they've left some of the international bowlers out. So these are the guys that need to step up.
But, because of the way Umesh bowled, the way Rashid and Mohit bowled, they kept chipping away those wickets after that big partnership. And that big question of MS Dhoni, because he comes in so late, he hits those big sixes. So I think there's a lot of chatter on social media that he's getting in those big runs. Yes, he's not running around. But in a game like this, would you have liked to see him come up and get those big sixes, get the runs flowing?
Well, I think that's more balls than he's faced in the last 5 or 6 matches. I mean, he normally waits for the 18th or 19th over.
For the last, 3 or 4 balls.
He was in the 16th over, wasn't he? There was about 3 and a bit overs to go. He just didn't get much of the strike. But, I think the case was kind of done by that stage. But the 2 guys at the crease were going okay. So you can't exactly pull them off. So I think they've pushed him in there as early as he possibly can. And I think the challenge for him, whatever the injury, whether it's calf, knee, whatever it may be, is the running. So you can't get back for the seconds. And that's where they might feel that if he gets in too early, he might cost him 3 or 4 extra runs by not being able to rotate strike and be able to come back for the second. So I wasn't too upset. I think today was fine.
Because otherwise what ends up happening is that, they're just like token sixes because it's not really contributing to a win.
Is it token sixes? If we asked the 90,000 that were there, did they feel like
I mean, it didn't get them to the winning side.
No,
so
but
we love the sixes as fans.
Yeah.
As Dhoni fans, we want those sixes coming.
So it's not token sixes in the end. I agree. I think the game was almost dead and buried by the time he came. The asking rate was ridiculous. They gave the fans what they wanted. Everyone had a great time.
No pain for fans.
No pain for any of them.
Yeah, there was no pain for the fans. Dhoni was being cool like he always is. He's coming in coolly and hitting those sixes. So let's have a look at the carrier room air conditioners. Coolest moment of the match. Of course, his sixes are very cool, but besides those sixes, any other cool moments for you all?
Yeah, Sudharsan's 100 for me. The fact that he finally got it. He was so close in the final against the same opposition. So for him to get there today is first of the RPL history for him. I think it would be a moment he'll remember. So I felt like it was cool. Had to wait a whole year almost to get the 3-figure score, but he got it.
Shubman's reaction was not very cool after his 100.
Well,
quite
actually,
heated.
He lost his cool.
He needs to be around the cool area just to calm himself down. But I actually think that was a cool moment because if Shubman Gill looks back at his career, and hopefully he has a very successful career and hopefully a future leader potentially down the track, this might be, a moment in his career where he goes, life was a little bit tricky. It didn't quite go to plan. It's my first opportunity to captain an IPL team. It was a little bit harder. Things didn't necessarily go to plan. So, hey, I learnt so much from that now I am a better skipper and a better player to be able to separate the two, being the captain and then being the batter and still being able to perform. So that
you definitely learn more lessons in the hard times than you do when it's going good.
Well, Shubman's learning all those lessons. I was really rooting for Rashid today. So I think for me, my cool moment's going to be that catch he took. because he had that big broad smile after he took it. It almost but didn't clip.
He wasn't cool for a second because he
was.
thought he stuffed it up.
Yes, but always rooting for Rashid there. Let's have a look at the cool moments and see what you all have written in on Twitter, X and wherever else. Mitesh says, both GT openers getting a century in exact same balls, 50 balls century, pure class and elegance, no hard hitting.
No hard hitting? I'm sure there was a few hard
Are
hits.
they watching a different game?
A few hard hits.
I think he's talking about what we were talking about in the mid-match, the proper cricketing shots.
It just looked like it was
slogging.
effortless.
Yeah, it didn't
yes.
look like it was hard hitting. Maybe that's what Mitesh was saying. Next up, let's have a look at...
Well, let's just look at you.
Well, Eric says at the 16-over mark of the GT innings, both batsmen at 96 from 48 and 48 balls, and the team score is 196 for 0. That's 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 0 is equal to 16, and 1 plus 6 is equal to 7. Oh, Thala for a reason.
That's great mathematics to get there.
I was not expecting that to reach that.
But I
really
remember
wasn't.
Polly had said, 96, 96, 196.
Yeah.
So I remember we were in the green room.
Yeah.
And there was 3 wides and a leg bar.
Yeah.
Those were the 4 extras.
Yeah.
But did you all see the Thala for the reason coming in?
No.
No.
You all didn't see it. Let's have a look at what our last tweet for the day is. Well, Aryan Borkar. Aryan, thanks for writing in again. Aryan says, Gujarat win, Chennai lose, but the big news is Bengaluru stay alive. That's my coolest moment of the match. There you go. We have an RCB fan in the house, but that is pretty cool because we know how everyone is kind of waiting for the other team, and we can see RCB fans sitting with their nails in their mouth. So,
But they're used to that, aren't they, RCB fans? Every year? They sit there waiting, watching, looking at all the games. Fingers crossed, maybe this year.
Let's have a look at the points table. Let's explain why the scenario is that
Scenarios.com,
they're happy.
let's go.
There we go. At least Gujarat have got off number 10. So now it's not an odd-looking
look
thing where you
weird.
go E, and then still Gujarat. So, okay, so they're still in it. The reason why is they go to 10, and obviously they can get to 14. But Chennai losing means that they don't get to 14. So that makes Gujarat, Bangalore, Lucknow and Delhi very happy because now they're thinking if we get to 14, we've got half a chance. Hyderabad are happy because if they win, then they go well ahead of Chennai. Kolkata and Rajasthan are happy because they're looking like they're going to secure 1 and 2. And also, the fact that the last 2 games are happening in Chennai means that they're very happy that they might not have to meet Chennai in those last 2 games on their own home patch. So, in fact, besides Mumbai and Punjab, everyone else is pretty happy.
And Chennai.
And Chennai, yes, of course, Chennai are not happy with this result. But the net run rate's gone down from 7 to just under 5, so that's also a bit of a blow for them. They were sitting pretty, but it keeps it all alive. Morescenarios.com.
Morescenarios.com, and Polly has very coolly explained these scenarios, which otherwise can just seem so confusing. But we've got him to coolly explain this to us. These were our carrier room air conditioners coolest moment of the match. Thank you so much for writing in. I think we got some really cool moments that came in today. Thala for a reason was not what we were expecting, and of course Bengaluru staying alive. So a lot of cool moments that were coming in. But what for Chennai here on now? Because they would have liked to get this game in to be able to go to 18 points. So they'll be thinking, this game was important for us.
Yeah, the funny thing is I remember sitting at home. I think they had played 9 games were completed, and they had won 5. And they'd posted 200 and that big score, 230 or whatever it may be, at home. And I remember going into the TV set and watching at the halftime and thinking, oh, well, that's 6 from 10. And that basically kind of will qualify them. And they ended up losing that. Stoinis played out of his socks, wins that game. They go to the next game, they lose and then they win. Now they've lost again. So from a team which I thought, they're probably going to get through, they're kind of showing us that they're battling a little bit to try and squeak over the line. And it's down to that combination of the batting up the top of the order. So I don't see them changing. I don't think they'll panic. I think they'll keep Ravinder at the top of the order. And they've got to just find some form. I think bowling-wise, they don't look as strong as a unit, do they? With those three other guys missing. I think that really gave them a little bit more balance and a bit more bite, to be brutally honest. So we'll have to see that what they can do. Definitely missing Pataran. I think he was a star for them. Yeah, in the middle overs, picking up wickets and the back end. But in saying that, that was probably the best part of their innings tonight, was the death bowling.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So maybe they feel like they've got an answer there. It's just the top. If they can get those top three firing, then they'll give themselves a chance.
And next up, they are going to be playing Rajasthan and then Bengaluru. Bengaluru has, really been on the rise. And of course, Rajasthan's been phenomenal this season. So tough fixtures as well to follow up. Yeah,
given the fact that Rajasthan have, right up there with Kolkata are the two teams that have been playing, in a separate kind of sphere as the rest of the sides. What's the last day of the round games?
19th, isn't it?
19th. I was going to say, otherwise we're going to go down. It tends to normally, doesn't it? The last day, we're still waiting on the last fixture to figure out who's going to be the fourth side. So you get a sense that that match right at the end with Bengaluru is going to be one to whether Bengaluru go in or go out.
Well, we've got
Chennai in or out,
up until then, we've got scenarios.com explaining everything to us. Tomorrow, again, a big game because KKR are taking on MI. This is match number 60. They'll be playing at the Eden Gardens. KKR, of course, going to be playing at home. The reverse fixture, they came to Mumbai and they beat Mumbai after 12 long years. So they will keep that in mind. And, of course, a win tomorrow. And they will be the first team with Q next to their names.
Yeah, well, Joy's not here, so normally I would be a bit careful about what I say. But normally when it was Mumbai versus Kolkata, it was like kind of points in the bag for Mumbai. I think we had 23 victories against Kolkata. So it was a real shock that we managed to lose. And I say Mumbai managed to lose at the One Kitty Stadium. But we'll have to turn it on its head. They'll go to Kolkata and the pressure's off. They've been eliminated. We'll have to see what they do with their side. Is it a chance now for some guys to have a rest? Is it a chance to... Although, in fact, what have they played? They've played 22 of the 23 people in the squad. I think Arjun Tendulkar's the only guy who hasn't had a game, so he might get a game. But maybe they're starting to think for the future. But you do think the shackles will come off and it will release them. But, you've got some guys who are playing okay, but not enough have been playing throughout the season. So maybe the fact that it's an elimination will just ease the tension and they can go out and just back themselves and play with a little bit more freedom.
But Lisa, as Indian fans, would you like to see a Rohit, a Bumrah, the star Indian players being rested? Because give the younger ones a chance and kind of just keep in mind the World Cup and rest the star players?
With the Team India cap on?
Yes.
Yep, rest them. Don't even allow them to fly over. Just stay at home, relax, kick back.
Cotton wool, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I just think they've got to be a little bit fresh. And if you can, if some of your players that aren't playing in the playoffs, let them be at home and relax before they get back on the road again. That's my opinion. Like I said, Team India cap. But if I'm a franchise owner, no, you will be playing. Off you go, right?
Yeah, I think they don't want to be ending up on the bottom of the table, do they? That's the other thing. I think there's a bit of pride involved. You probably would say, it's 4 overs and they'll be finished.
Get on the park.
They'll be finished in 10 days' time, and then they'll have a break. They won't be involved in the last week because they've been eliminated. So there'll be a time to have a bit of a rest there.
Oh, break, 5 days.
Well, it's better than nothing.
There you go. That plan's been rejected for the Pride. Yeah, I think Polly's going to be playing for the Pride for MI.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do, in all honesty. What I would do is I'd get to the bottom if there's any niggles. If there's any niggles whatsoever, like we saw Surya the other day, he was stretching his groin. If there's a thing, no, you rest. Bumrah, is there any niggle with you? No? Okay, you rest, you can play. And Rohit Sharma, is there any issue? If there isn't, then they can play. But if there's anything underlying, no, then give them a chance to
and maybe don't put, if Rohit is going to play, don't put him out on the boundary.
We saw him diving around the other day.
Don't run around and throw your body around.
Make him the impact player,
Yeah.
All right then, let's have a look at KKR squad because those openers have just been going all guns blazing. It's been working very well for KKR. Pretty much everything working for KKR. The spin twins working, the openers working. If at all there's something tomorrow they'd like to see is Rinku coming into form.
Yeah, they probably would. But I would rest Salt and Nareen. I would leave them out and play Manish Pandey and Cricbuzz in their place. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah?
Don't take me seriously. Come on. They need the points. They need the points in the back.
so serious. Didn't my uncle Agarwal say you were serious?
Yeah, very serious.
Well, but he's not going to be available for the playoffs. So if you're thinking,
Yeah, so that was where I was going with it. I was just joking. I was just joking that they should be rested. But the thing is that if there's an opportunity, for example, Cricbuzz, if Nareen's not going to be missing because he's not going to play for the West Indies. So if they can find an opportunity to get Cricbuzz in and give him a game and get a bit of cricket under the belt, if they haven't managed to negotiate an extended run for Salt to maybe stay a little bit more than they expected. I know there's talks that...
These talks have been going on for a while.
Yeah, and we haven't got a final decision. So we don't know whether they will or won't. But the key for them is try and secure 1 and 2 first. And once they've done that, then maybe give Cricbuzz a go.
all right, these are your players to watch out for then.
I'm going to go for Shreyas. I think being at home, he's got a couple of 20s, 30s. You know, it's been a while since he's had a bigger impact. And for Mumbai, right, Piyush Chawla.
Oh, yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he bowled well, and I think...
Did he have a spell at Kolkata? Do I remember him playing in the... I think, okay, I'm getting my ear, 2014 winner there. So he'll be keen to get back, yeah, so that's a good call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done. For me, who am I going to have a look at? I mean, those spinners in the middle for KKR have been fantastic. So I got Chakravarti this time because we can't have it all about Nareen. I'm keen to see how he goes. And then for Mumbai, I want to see what Rohit can do. Come on, Rohit. We've got to get you back into some form.
You if he plays,
if he doesn't rest, if he plays, let's see. He doesn't mind that ground. I've seen him have some good knocks there. So let's see him set the IPL afire again. It's been a bit of a spell without some runs.
Well, he's got that 264, his test debut, so he certainly likes that ground. So I'm rooting for Rohit tomorrow as well. We'll have a look. Now we are rooting for Polly to give that answer to that joy factor question, which he said he probably knows the answer to.
Yeah, well, I thought, okay, so normally joy tends to involve someone who's involved in the game. So I thought I can remember Dhoni taking off the gloves, bowling, and then to get runs is not a problem, and then man of the series or player of the series. So I thought it had to be, but rumour has it that it's not.
Rumour has it. All right, let's have a look at what the answer is then. It's the Tinda Taibo Sri Lanka Tour of Zimbabwe 2004. I have no idea what that
How is this connected, Joy,
So the
please?
connection is that he is born in May, if that's the connection at all.
His birthday's in like 6 days' time. I was like, come
He's
on.
gone too
Birthday
early.
month.
No,
Is that the connection? No.
I don't know. Who knows?
Well, don't worry, Joy's coming.
Joy's coming.
He asked him tomorrow.
I'll give him a clip over his ear.
Actually,
It's tomorrow.
you're the only one working tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
Enjoy your day off, right?
well, let's have a look at who's gotten it correct because we'll have to get the connection out tomorrow. Sudeep Abhyankar has gotten this right. Sudeep, well done. I keep seeing your name coming in. If you know what the connection is, Sudeep, please write into us and tell us on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you have it, before Joyda comes tomorrow. Let's also now have a look at something we don't want to see at all. But clearly we have
None
to see
of us won.
because we got a message from Mr. Gaurav Kapoor. Oh dear.
I tell you what, I'm blimmin' consistent. I mean, I've stayed at that mark for a long time now.
How many games have you done? And can I ask, why is Gilly and Vorney together? Oh, no, because they're on the same amount.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the reason? Mm-hmm. Okay, same number of wins, same number of games played. Got it. Thank you.
All right, do you still want to see this table or can we get it out?
No, we're done.
We are done with it. We do not want to see this table. Unless we don't get a win, we don't see the table.
We don't
I think
care.
We don't care. We don't put this...
So you guys will really be rooting for me tomorrow.
We really are. I really was
you don't want
rooting for you
GT
today.
to GK. I mean, to win. GT. GT already won. You don't want GK to win.
Yes. So you know what your duty is tomorrow. We have given you all the responsibility, Polly. Please do this for us. We need you to get a win. Two wins.
We're talking about certain individuals low on confidence.
See, if you
That's
do,
me.
if you do get a win, then what would the percentage actually be?
I think I'd have to
Because
get...
there's a lot of games, is there now?
Oh, I don't know. What
Or
is
guess
that?
it. Anyway, it doesn't
Anyway, too much mathematics for this time of the day. All we can say is that we are rooting for Polly to win tomorrow. And please come in, join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. and root for him to win as well. There is, of course, a very exciting game. Mumbai take on KKR. Today was a great day as well. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much, Polly. Responsibilities on you tomorrow, please.
Yeah, I think we need to get a few messages in of what score I should go for. And
Okay.
I'm willing to take offers.
Guys, if you all have any recommendations on what scores we should go for, please write in to us, because clearly 3 of us have not done a good job. We can do with your help. So please help us and see us tomorrow at 7 p.m. That's all for now. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दो